Hi there. This is probably the strangest video I've ever done. It is truly music made with plastic surgery, and I'm just going to explain a little bit about the context before we listen to the music itself. I've done a lot of weird things with sounds over the years and try to create music out of them. I had food poisoning, really bad spaghetti meatball food poisoning that I recorded and make music out of. Some of those sounds became the robots and Transformers. I've done music with snakes and bees and water drops and whatever. But this one was the first time where I heard sounds that are like, I can't make music out of it. About 3 years ago, a really dear friend of mine, his name is Dr. Carlos. He's a world-renowned plastic surgeon specialized in facial plastic surgery. And I had a conversation about what would happen if we recorded plastic surgery and all the different sounds going on. And I would try to take them, listen to them, and then make music out of them. Carlos was kind enough to do that over a duration of time. He recorded all the different sounds from the surgeries with consent. And then he gave me the recordings so I could try to figure out how to make music out of them. And it's the first time I've ever heard stuff where like, I don't know. I cannot make music out of these sounds. It's just too unmusical. And we like to talk about both surgery and music because they're so separate worlds. Like, if you can imagine being a plastic surgeon, particularly with a face, there's no margin for error where I can sit in the door and like make errors all day and edit and all that stuff. But the scrutiny surgeon's face is completely different. We might think it's type being a composer at times, but nothing like that. I got the sounds, listened to them, it didn't work out. And at a point, a few years later, Carlos turned 60 years old. My apologies, Carlos. And when that happened, I was like, okay, I have to give him a present, and the best present I could do was possibly to make music with all the sounds and try to figure out how it works. So I went back, listened to them, and the first thing that hit me was this surgical drain, stuff that goes in the mouth and you can hear all the gurgle sounds. And closed my eyes and listened to it, and all of a sudden this melody sort of came out of it, emerged from it, and I tried to play a piano melody that was following what I thought was the melodic component of it. And that became that. It's actually the first part of the track is me trying to play the melody of the surgical drain. And then throughout the video, there's a bunch of other things in it. I'm not going to reel it right now because it's fun to watch. I'll make a description in the video where you can see what's going on. And on the back side of the video, I'll tell a little more about the context. But this was to Dr. Carlos on his 60th birthday. And his mother Judy was there as well, which provides more meaning to the track as well. The track is called Numbers. But let's go in and listen to it, and then I'll meet you on the backside and explain a little more about the context. And I suppose the best transition to a video like this would probably be to do like a slicing kind of surgical.
I'm not going to talk anymore. 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 I'm not going to tal
That was the track. I made a joke when it was Carla's birthday that if you think about birthdays, it's kind of weird that we're celebrating the child that was born. In some ways, we should celebrate the mother that gave birth. And that's why the numbers continued up to Judy's, Carla's mother's age as well, because I thought like, okay, it's actually a celebration of both. And since they're both there on the 60th, I thought that was beautiful. That last part of the track is actually my favorite part. There's these surgical valves, the breathing valves, and they just have a beautiful rhythm to it. And then the pulse meter, you know, the little heart, whatever it's called, like that goes doot, doot. Try to figure out a rhythm with that and count on the numbers. So I'm trying to use the sounds in a different way. And of course the broken noses, the castanets. Each broken nose is kind of funny because I got about 50 different broken noses. And you realize each of them actually have different pitches. So when I put it in contact, like you could actually make playable nose drums, I guess. So yeah, anyway, this is just, I thought it'd be an interesting video to share with you guys because it's just so different and out there, and it's a great exercise in trying to push the boundaries sonically, and more an intellectual and emotional exercise for me as well, in terms of like, okay, here's some source material that actually doesn't seem to have musical value, and try to work with the material and find sonic aspects in it that would tie with music. So it took me quite a while to figure it out, but it was a good exercise in terms of expanding my sonic intellect, and also see how I can infuse emotion into these strange sounds. It's kind of funny that something like a breathing machine ties so well with Sodino strings. Who would have known? So anyway, I thought you guys would enjoy this little weird experiment, and we got more to come as well, but appreciate you watching, and it's about having fun, right? It's about just sometimes pushing the boundaries and not always be locked into what we think music could be or should be and all that, but sometimes actually just push ourselves into those realms of uncomfortable, vulnerable settings where we don't really know what's going on, and try to tell a story that has not been told before.